Now, Peter Labarbera is a right-wing lunatic who seems to have a big problem with the gays and Hollywood, of course. Now, he recently went on a right-wing radio station to basically complain about Star Trek Discovery and the gay agenda. Let's take a listen to that interview.
Star Trek series introducing the first same-sex couple coming up here on a program. This would be the latest series in the Star Trek franchise, Star Trek Discovery, an openly gay couple. And that's something that we've been hearing from the cries for Hollywood to show yet more homosexual characters.
Yeah, and the homosexual activists are never satisfied. They always want more and more and more. We have yet to see an ex-gay, a former homosexual, prominently portrayed in Hollywood. I believe there was one film in a small independent film, Jim. So, you know, this is more activism, and I guess all we can do is not watch Star Trek. I wasn't going to watch it anyway, but certainly with this sort of propaganda, I think Americans are tired of it. They're tired of all the political correctness, and I think that's why Trump won in the first place.
All right, so he makes a couple of points, and all of them are pretty dumb. First off, yes, it is true the homosexual activists, they're never satisfied. You know why they're not satisfied? Because they haven't achieved equality yet. It's kind of hard to be satisfied when you can still be fired for your job for being transgender, still be discriminated based on, again, whether what bathroom you use in your birth certificate, and whether or not, you know, you want to actually have a cake baked for you. Conservatives love to bring up that cake. So, yes, there's a reason that they are not satisfied. But, of course, to them, they think that, oh, my God, fighting for equal rights, that is outrageous. It is just too much for them. Now, again, these people are very, very outraged whenever somebody gets rights because they think that when someone else gets rights, they end up losing theirs. What they're actually losing is part of their privilege. They have been privileged in this country for so long that when you challenge that at all by saying that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be an asshole to that person just because they're different, that they think that they are taking away their rights to free speech. It's amazing. But look, in reality, gay people getting rights is not taking away rights from anyone else because this is not a zero-sum game. This is America where we're supposed to extend rights to every human being. See, look, they think that they have the right to discriminate, but the truth is you never did. You had that privilege because it was allowed, because you were a majority, but now you're not. You're actually a shrinking minority of people because most of American citizens are now actually like, yeah, hey, you know what? It turns out gay people, not so bad. They're not as terrible as some people said that they were. And yes, they actually do deserve rights. But again, the shrinking minority is like, no, we can't do that. We can't give people rights because that takes away my right to be a bigot. No, man. No. And look, if you think it's okay to discriminate against gay people, then you've obviously missed the point of America. Again, everybody's supposed to be treated equally, even though at this point, it's really fair to point out how we are not living up to that ideal. Now, the other point here is that you said that the representation, right? I have yet to see an ex-gay in Hollywood. You realize that that's because they don't exist. I mean, you don't stop being gay. That's not something that you can turn on and turn off. Okay, it's not a light switch. You can't pray away the gay. I mean, sure, you can claim to be in the closet. You can shove yourself in the closet all day, as far back into it as you want. You're still going to think about dicks and how delicious you think they are. I'm sorry. You cannot shut that off. That's like being able to shut off the fact that I'm a straight man. No, I can't shut it off. I can't change that. That is not something that you can do. And here's the what I think about Peter Labarbera. This guy is so virulently homophobic that it can't help that I can't help but thinking that he himself is super gay. I mean, look, there have been studies that shown that people who are stridently anti-gay are actually turned on by gay pornography. This is a study. They actually looked at that. The more I say anti-gay you are, the more you think about it, the more it occupies your brain space, right? The thought of, oh my, two men kissing, oh my God, two men having sex. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Well, normal people can handle it. Regular people can handle it. But you can't handle it. Well, why can't you handle it? It's because you want it. You love it. You love the idea. And you're mad that you can't live that out. Hey, man, it's 2017. You can live it out. It's okay now. It's always been okay, even though it hasn't been traditionally culturally accepted, thanks to, of course, fundamentalist religion. But anyway, now he's going to continue with this garbage, and then I'll get into the Star Trek angle of this, which is the best part. But first, more from this bigot.
Peter, just boils down. We hear these stories. We can wring our hands or say, you know, I need to take action in some regard. How can we take action on issues like this?
Well, absolutely, Jim. You know, you can throw up your hands and say, okay, I can't do anything about it. But remember, the other side never stops fighting. There is a battle between good and evil in this country. And I think, you know, you should follow VCY, follow Americans for Truth, get the updates at LifeSite News. But do something. For example, on the transgender issue, call your your congressman and say you are closely watching what happens with the application of what President Trump said he would do on transgenders in the military. Well, I guess we're going to be talking, Jim, about the Equality Act. That's something. It's the homosexual activist. Very, very dangerous federal legislation, the Equality Act. Mm-hmm. Call your representative and say you oppose this homosexual legislation, which would actually make it easier for homosexual activists and liberal attorneys to persecute people of faith for opposing this juggernaut, which calls itself gay.
The gay juggernaut. I'm the juggernaut, bitch, and I'm fabulous. I'm sorry, I had to do that. No, look, okay. He thinks he's going to be discriminated against. Well, you know why? Because his projection is because they're used to being the ones who are discriminating. They think, oh my God, the fact that I can't, you know, deny people rights and services, that just because based on their sexual orientation, well, that means they're going to come and oppress me. Or that is actually oppressing me, the fact that I can't discriminate. No. You shouldn't be able to discriminate, period. I'm just saying. Okay, but anyway. Now he goes on to call this a battle between good and evil. And that's where it goes way far. You think gay people are evil? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. First of all, how is two people being gay and being in a relationship harm you, your family? It doesn't. It shouldn't be any of your business. But again, you can't stop thinking about it. It occupies your thoughts. It's in your rhetoric all the time. That's all you talk about is, oh, the gay people, they're so bad. They're so bad. You're obsessed. He's obsessed with this. But look, if he wants to be offended by gay people, okay, fine, whatever. Okay, Snowflake. Nobody's watching, nobody's forcing you to watch Star Trek. I mean, by the way, Star Trek is one of my favorite franchises. Has always been progressive on social issues, whether it be the first interracial kiss between Kirk and Uhura, first female captain, Captain Janeway, the first African-American lead, Captain Sisko on Deep Space Nine, or the different moral stories that they tell. Star Trek has always been forward-thinking. Yes, they have run into some issues as well. I mean, look at some of the costumes, look at some of the skirts, look at what they did to Jolene Blaylock on Enterprise. Dude, they tried to find every excuse they could to get her in her underwear. I'm just saying, that's what they did. But look, for the most part, the message was, hey, let's get to a future where we let go of irrational hatreds based on discrimination and outdated bullshit belief systems. Let's embrace science. Let's embrace humanism. And that's what Star Trek has really been about. That utopian future where we've gotten over ourselves and religious bullshit, the kind of which Peter Labarbera actually believes in. Now, I'm not dissing religion as a whole. What I'm dissing is the people who take that religion and will cherry pick out the most hateful parts and emphasize them while ignoring passages in the same book, Leviticus, for example, where you shall not lie with man, or man shall not lie with another man. In that same book, probably a few pages away, it's got, like a passage where you can't eat shrimp or lobster. That is an equivalent sin to lying with a man. But you don't see Peter Labarbera out there protesting Red Lobster and saying that Red Lobster is the evil scourge among humanity. We need to wipe them out. We need to get rid of those Red Lobster and turn it into a burger chain. Turn it into a Chick-fil-A. No diss against Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying. But look, the thing is that the values presented in Star Trek series actually threaten the worldview of people like Peter Labarbera. And that makes me feel sad, actually. I pity this guy. Now, because Labarbera and people like him, they'll continue to stew in their own hatred and ignorance, and will likely die a very lonely, sad death, and be remembered as an easily triggered snowflake who was on the wrong side of history. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.